Houston. Houston, we have a problem. DJ Apollo has landed. I repeat, DJ Apollo has landed at Hitmix 88.9 WEIU.
Welcome to the Tales of Music and Film podcast. My name is DJ Apollo, or aka Christian Taylor, and we got a very exciting recording for today. I'm going solo yet again, and we're back on the topic of music, and we are going to be reviewing an album I'm very excited to review. I really love this record. I've listened to it a lot, and it is a outright masterpiece, and it's on the list of top most sold records of all time. I am, of course, talking about the Fleetwood Mac album classic, Rumors. Now, I've had this album on my album list of albums to review for quite a while now, and I'm very happy that I'm finally getting around to reviewing this one because I knew this is an album I had to cover before I graduate from Eastern Illinois. So this one is going to be a lot of fun. I'm very looking forward to getting into some of the history with this album. Rumors is the 11th studio album by British-American rock band Fleetwood Mac. It was released on February 4th, 1977 by Warner Brothers Records. Largely recorded in California in 1976, it was produced by band Ken Calais and Richard Dashut. Now, to give you an idea, just like how big this was on its release, the album was on the charts for 31 weeks, with the Rolling Stone naming Rumors the 25th greatest album of all time. It is the 10th best-selling album ever, with more than 40 million copies sold today, and it features 4 top 10 singles. And the recording sessions took place in the aftermath of several relationship breakups among its members, in addition to heavy drug use, both of which shaped the album's direction. And we'll get more into that here in a minute. Now, before I go any further with the actual album, I would actually like to go into maybe a quick little recap on how DJ Apollo was introduced to Fleetwood Mac. Now, I will admit, I'm not exactly the biggest Fleetwood Mac listener. I only have 2 albums by them, and that's really about it. And the other one I don't listen to very often, but the Rumors album I do listen to sometimes. I really love the sound on this album, and I think the songs in this are really good. And the big reason that I was introduced to Fleetwood Mac was actually through, funny enough, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, because of course I've mentioned this before, but one of my favorite songs by Tom Petty was the song he did with Stevie Nicks that he wrote for Stevie Nicks, "Stop Dragging My Heart Around." And I found out, like, hey, you should check out Stevie Nicks' band that she's in, Fleetwood Mac. And I'm like, okay, I'll check them out. And I believe the very first song I listened to was "Go Your Own Way," which is a fantastic song. I'm telling you right now, you have to add that song to your road trip soundtrack. It is like one of those songs that when you're on the highway, it enhances the trip so much. Then I listened to that. Then I got into other stuff like The Chain. Then, of course, Stevie Nicks' classic Dreams, which all 3 are featured on this album. And I'll go into them later. But that's how I got introduced to them was, through Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And I gotta say, man, Rumors is a masterpiece. And I really love this album so much more now because this last August at Eastern Illinois University, the famous Fleetwood Mac tribute band Tusk came to my college, and I'm telling you right now, in my personal opinion, these guys are one of the best tribute bands I've ever seen. All of them looked, sounded, and acted like the real thing. I was convinced that these guys were Fleetwood Mac from a different multiverse. They were that good. Me and a sold-out crowd watched them on stage in the Down Fine Arts Center for over 2 hours, and it was breathtaking. And that concert made me love Fleetwood Mac's music even more. I wanted to listen to them so much more after that concert. It was amazing. And I had a front row seat, man. That whole show was breathtaking. And it made me love so many of their other songs, which I cannot wait to get into. So that was my little bit of my history for you regarding Fleetwood Mac. And before we go any further, I'd like to give a brief mention of the lineup that we had for when this album was made. So the lineup at this time of the recording of Rumors, we have guitarist and vocalist Lindsey Buckingham, we have drummer Mick Fleetwood, keyboard player and vocalist Christine McVie, bass guitarist John McVie, and vocalist Stevie Nicks. And that is your classic Fleetwood Mac lineup. I unfortunately am never going to get a chance to see this band live because it has been revealed recently that the band has announced that they are never going to perform as a band ever again, because I want to take a moment and remember the late, great Christine McVie, who passed away back on November 30th of this last year. Her death was a big shock to everybody, you know, and I was very shocked myself, and I wish I could have gotten a chance to see her perform live. She seemed like a very genuine, amazing human being, a very nice human being, and she really, from what I've seen, she seemed to really love her craft, and I think she really made sure to show how much she cared for people. And I can't believe she's already been gone that long, you know, and her and Stevie were best friends, and yeah, it was really a big shock. So I want to take a moment and dedicate this recording to the late, great Christine McVie. I hope I do this album justice for you. And so that is the classic lineup for Fleetwood Mac. But even though I didn't get to see the real thing, the tribute band was amazing, and I couldn't have asked for anything better. And I don't know, maybe I'll get a chance someday to see some of the band members perform. Who knows? Like, I would love to see Stevie Nicks live. That'd be very cool. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. You know, like, life's full of surprises. So, I mean, hey, you never know. Like, heck, I got to see, you know, Mike Campbell and his band, the Dirty Knobs, last year. And that was a complete surprise. It was not planned at all. So it's kind of like, I try to keep an open perspective, because like, life is full of surprises and you never know what it has in store for you. Life is a beautiful thing. It's an amazing adventure. So as we continue here with information, so let's get back on some of the history here. So the album was recorded with the intention of making a pop album that would expand on the commercial success of their self-titled 75 album. The music of Rumors is characterized by a mix of electric and acoustic instrumentation, accented rhythms, guitars, and keyboards, while its lyrics concern personal and often troubled relationships. So the album, its release was postponed by delays in the mixing process. Following the album's release, Fleetwood Mac undertook worldwide concert tours. Rumors became the band's first #1 album on the UK Albums Chart and also topped the US Billboard 200. The songs Go Your Own Way, Dreams, Don't Stop, and You Make Loving Fun were released as singles, all of which reached the US Top 10, with Dreams reaching #1. And before I get into this next part here, which is really a big reason for why the album turned out the way it did, there's actually a nickname for the Rumors album. A lot of the fans call it the breakup album, because almost every member of Fleetwood Mac was going through some kind of breakup or divorce or something when the album was being recorded. And this next bit I'm about to read is really going to jump into what influenced them to write the songs on here and why the album turned out the way it did. In July of 1975, Fleetwood Mac's eponymous 10th album was released to great commercial success. Reaching number 1 in the US in 1976, the record's biggest hit single, Rhiannon, gave the band extensive radio exposure. At the time, Fleetwood Mac's lineup consisted of guitarist and vocalist Lindsey Buckingham, drummer Mick Fleetwood, keyboard player and vocalist Christine McVie, bass guitarist John McVie, and vocalist Stevie Nicks. After 6 months of nonstop touring, the McVies divorced, ending 8 years of marriage. The couple stopped talking to each other socially and discussed only musical matters. Buckingham and Nicks, who had joined the band before 1975's Fleetwood Mac after guitarist Bob Welch had left, were having an on and off relationship that led them to fight often. The duo's arguments stopped only when they worked on songs together. Fleetwood faced domestic problems of his own after discovering that his wife, Jenny, mother of his 2 children, was having an affair with his best friend. So as you can see, that a lot of heartache was going around the time that this album was released. And I think a lot of the songs that they wrote was them kind of venting out everything that they had went through. And we'll get into that here in a little bit with the songs here. So the first song that we got here is Dreams, and this is personally one of my favorite songs off of this album. So now we are going to do the thing that I love to do, is I'm going to dive into the lyrics on some of the songs. We have 4 songs total that we are going to go into with the lyrics, so let's get going. So we have the first song here, Dreams, that was written by Stevie Nicks. And I love this song. The way she sings this with her voice, like, guys, I'm telling you, back in the 70s, man, like, Stevie Nicks had this very beautiful singing voice. Like, she still sings good now. Man, back then when she was, when she was very young, like, man, her voice had this, like, softness to it, like a sweet kind of voice. And it's like, dude, it's very calming. She has such a beautiful voice, especially back then. And really, to sum it up for you, I just think it's so funny. This whole song is literally her talking about how big of a jerk Lindsey Buckingham was to her. This whole thing is just her talking about what a jerk he is. And I just think it's so funny. Like, there's literally a meme out there that I saw once where it was Taylor Swift, like, I write songs about my bad relationships. And at the bottom it says, girl, please, I wrote a song about my bad relationship and I made him play guitar on it. Like, yeah, writing your songs about your bad relationships is one thing, and then making your ex play guitar on the song about him being a jerk. It's just like, how hilarious is that? But anyway, the first verse goes like this. Now here you go. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel, but listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness. Like, that's just her, I feel like that's Stevie just straight up saying, like, all right, you want your freedom? You want to act the way you do? Then go right ahead. But you're going to lose me in the process. Then you're going to end up very, very alone because you're mean and you are a womanizer. And then it continues, like a heartbeat drives you mad in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you lost. So I feel like that's kind of like the main chorus we got going here. And I feel like that's just kind of going more into, like, it drives you mad that you can't have me anymore, or I'm not giving you any more chances, like, she's giving him enough chances. He ain't gonna change. He's mean, so I'm cutting it off permanently. You gotta know, I feel like this song is really kind of sending the message of, like, you gotta notice the red flags, and you gotta stop. You can only give a person so many chances. You're just like, okay, I've given you enough chances. I can see that you're not going to change, so I'm not going to be with you anymore. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Prayers only love you when they're playing. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You'll know. So I feel like that's kind of talking about more in the fact, like he's going to go be with more women and it's just going to be the same thing over and over again. None of them are going to want to be with him with how he is. And a day will come where you will be washed clean of the bad things you've done, and you will know when that day comes. I feel like that's what that's talking about. I'm not trying to go like super deep with the lyric analysis for this one because I have 4 songs I have to cover, and I feel like this might push me to a longer recording. So just have to wait and see what happens. But I'm gonna try to as I'm doing this one solo. I'm gonna try to see if I can do like a good quick analysis that doesn't take too long. So let's continue here. Now here you go. Now here I go again. You see the crystal vision. I keep my visions to myself, but it's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams and have you any dreams you'd like to sell, dreams of loneliness. Now, I wonder if this one is talking about how she's happy that karma is doing its thing to him, like he's lonely and she's happy about it. I'm not sure. And like, my crystal vision is clear. I know who I am, but you don't know what you are, and you're refusing to look in the mirror and change yourself. I keep my visions to myself. I wonder if that's kind of talking about I'm not going to share my personal life problems with you. Like I keep, my personal information to myself or something. And it's like, but only me who wants to wrap around your dreams. So I wonder if she means like, I wonder what you're doing now. I'm not in your life anymore. So has it gotten any better? Not so sure on that one. And then it continues like a heartbeat drives you mad. Yeah, we kind of got over this earlier. It's the main chorus of this. After that chorus is over, it goes back into this part that we talked before about thunder only happens when it's raining. Now that particular verse there, I wonder if that's talking about, like you're going to catch your thunder, but it's going to come at a cost. You're going to be crying like rain afterwards. That's what I get from that. And then we get back to the ending verse here, and it's really kind of the same thing. Only thunder happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. He wants to be a player, and he can be that as long as he wants, but he's never going to have any meaningful relationships. So players are only going to like him because he's playing himself. And when the rain washes you clean, that day's going to come and you'll know, and you're going to end up all alone, and you're only going to have yourself to blame. So that is what I seem to get from that song. I gotta say, the lyric list is actually a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. Now that brings us into song number 2. Now here's another one I've been waiting to dive into the lyrics on. It's another huge fave of mine, Go Your Own Way, which is played like on the radio like all the time. This song is an absolute classic. Like, dude, this song, like, man, it just does an amazing job of like lifting my spirits. This is a really good song, and I'm wondering if the lyrics are gonna have something deep behind them. So let's get to analyzing this song. So goes like the song starts off like this: loving you isn't the right thing to do. How can I ever change things that I feel? So in this one, everybody is singing in on this song. So this opening here is Mick Fleetwood singing, and I wonder if he's talking about, like his divorce situation where he found out that his wife was cheating on him with his best friend. And it's just like, I just want to take a minute. I didn't address this earlier. Dude, my condolences to Mick Fleetwood. Like, can you imagine being in that situation where the love of your life is cheating on you with your best friend? It's just like, bro, if that happened to me, I would be destroyed for the rest of my life. It's just like, bro, I can't even imagine what went through his head during the time that he was grieving that. It's just like, bro, that is insane. I can't believe his wife did that to him. I mean, I don't know the background of what led to that, but it's like, you guys have 2 kids. Why would you cheat on your husband like that? You know, it's just like, holy cow. If things are bad in your marriage, maybe you should go talk it out or something. Like, don't cheat. That's only going to make things way worse. But, man, my condolences to Mick Fleetwood. Like, that had to have been a very horrible experience. Like, oh, man, I do not want to know what that feels like ever. But anyway, I'm wondering if this opening verse is him talking about how, like, you know, loving you isn't the right thing to do. You cheated on me. You made it clear that you don't like me anymore. So how am I going to change that? You've already made up your mind. You decided to cheat on me without talking it out first. So I can't say anything else about it. I feel like that's what that first verse is talking about. Now we continue here. If I could, baby, I'll give you my world. How can I when you won't take it from me? So I feel like that's kind of going back to him and his ex-wife. It's like, I tried giving you my world and you wouldn't take it from me. It's like, I showed you who I am, who I was as a person. You didn't accept me. So here we are. And then we get into the main chorus, you know, you can go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. And I feel like that's kind of going into, you know, they're all accepting the fact that they've all went through a breakup. The days are lonely, but they're starting fresh right now. Then we get into this next verse here. Tell me why everything turned around. Packing up, shaking up is all you want to do. Shacking up is all you want to do. Sorry, not shaking. Shacking up is all you want to do. So I feel like this verse is kind of like, you know, Mick Fleetwood talking about, it's like, can you explain to me like why you chose to do what you did? We have 2 kids, you know, and when did everything go wrong? Like, why didn't you talk to me? It's like, what happened? Why, like, you seem to be, you just packed up and found the next available guy that you could without, you know, sitting down with me and talking it out like a proper couple should. I feel like that's what that's talking about. And then, you know, we get the main verse again, and then it just goes on, you know, yeah, that's really the main chorus of this. After that, it just goes back to the lyrics that we've already covered before. You can go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. Go your own way. Yeah, you just it goes back to that. That's really the main chorus, you know, for this song. And I feel like the whole thing is just Mick Fleetwood kind of venting out his situation with the whole thing of his wife cheating on him and everything. So that was my quick little analysis of that song. Now we are getting into a song that I don't think gets enough credit, and this is a very good song. We have Gold Dust Woman. Now this one, I think it's kind of like a hidden gem. I'll have to give this song another listen sometime soon. Now, what's cool about this particular song is that it's really a duet between Christine and Stevie. They kind of sing this song together, and they kind of like do this really cool thing of like blending their voices together, and it's very beautiful. When they harmonize their voices together, it is amazing. So let's get into the first verse here. So we got, rock on, gold dust woman, take your silver spoon, dig your grave, heartless challenge, pick your path, and I'll pray. All right, I can already tell, like, this one is gonna, it's got a lot of like deep looking lyrics here. So this first verse here, I gotta be honest, I got no idea on this one. Oh shoot, I'm not sure. I feel like maybe what this is talking about, maybe the silver spoon is like a metaphor for Christy's marriage, that for Christine's marriage that she ended, recently before this album was starting recording. Like maybe her husband was her silver spoon, and like to her he helped dig her grave on her life, and that was quote a heartless challenge. You picked your path and I'll pray. Like I thought it was going to work between us and it didn't, and now I'm just laying in like this empty grave. No idea where to go from this point. So I'm wondering if that's it. Now, this is just pure speculation here. I could be way off, and I probably am, but this is just me kind of taking a guess at what I think it's talking about. So let's continue. Wake up in the morning, see your sunrise, love to go down. Lousy lovers pick their prey, but never cry out loud, cry out. So I wonder if this one is talking about, you wake up in the morning, you're with the love of your life, the sun, lovers go down, but, the lousy ones, they pick their prey, or I wonder that's a metaphor for like, the lousy ones, they'll hook up with whoever, but they never cry out, that. I wanted to talk about how there's some people who like don't actually try to find a good partner. They like get so desperate they'll hook up with anyone as long as they're not alone. And that person could be a very toxic person in their life, but they don't care because they would rather be with someone who treats them like crap than be completely alone. But deep down, they know it's not good and they don't cry out about it. So I wonder if that's what that's talking about. And we continue with, well, did she make you cry, make you break down, shatter your illusions of love, and is it over now? Do you know how? Pick up the pieces and go home. Now, I feel like this is kind of going into how, like, she made you cry, she broke you down, man. She broke your heart, left you in the dust, kicked you to the curb. She shattered your illusions of what you thought love should be. And now, what are you going to do? What do you do from this point? Excuse me. So, what are you going to do from this point? All you can do is just pick up the pieces of, I guess, your shattered heart and then just go home and just try to keep on going, man. And, like, man, that really hits deep. And, like, I get that, like, man, I've been in 4 relationships, and I'm telling you right now, 3 out of the 4... they literally ripped my heart out and stomped it into like it was glass right in front of me. Like, I get what that feels like. It stinks. Like, it's horrible. It's horrible to be in that situation. Rock on, ancient queen. Follow those who pale in your shadow. Rulers make bad lovers. You better put your kingdom up for sale. Up for sale. So I wonder, okay, let me think about this. So I think this is kind of going into follow those who pale in your shadow. Like, I wonder if that means don't think you're the only one. There are millions more people out there like you who are in your shadow where they had their hearts bashed to pieces right in front of them as well. And rulers, the rulers, I wonder if that means the people who care about their image so much. They care more about their appearance and image than they do people. They make very bad partners or lovers. So if you're holding on to like this kingdom of yours, you better put it up for sale. Otherwise, you're not going to find true love. And we continue, well, did she make you cry? And yeah, it's the main verse that I read earlier. Did she make you cry, break you down, shatter your illusion of love? It kind of goes back into that. And then we get this part here. The last couple of verses, it's a repeat that goes like this. Pale shadow of a woman, black widow, pale shadow of a dragon, dust woman. So I wonder if that's talking how like the woman, like the woman who had her heart broken. So it could be, so in this instance, I'm wondering if we're like jumping around from like a male perspective of a breakup and then a woman perspective of a breakup when it happens. How like this woman is out of her, her pale shadow now, and she's a black widow. Like, she's a force to be reckoned with. She's now a dragon. She's a dust woman. So I wonder if that means like she's managed to get back up from the horrible breakup and keep moving forward and not letting it shatter her entire life. That is what I seem to get from reading those lyrics. And again, this is just kind of pure speculation. I mean, I wish I could interview people about their interpretations of a song, but that is going to wrap it up for this particular song. This is my first time that I've analyzed the lyrics, so this is pretty interesting. And this is going to lead us into the fourth and final song that I'll go into. And this is another one that I highly recommend you give a listen to. And that is The Chain. This is a fantastic song. Like, there's actually this really cool video that I found on YouTube once. And it was all these different YouTubers who all have channels where they react to songs for the very first time. And there was this really cool compilation that this YouTuber made of all these YouTubers reacting to The Chain for the first time. And it was very, very cool to see. Like, I thought it was so cool. These people were completely blown away with how powerful this song was with the vocals, the guitar play, and just the loud noise that Fleetwood Mac made with this song. And man, this song is breathtaking to say the least. So let's get into the lyrics. So, first verse coming up, we got, listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise, running in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies. So I feel like this is like all the members kind of speaking to the person they broke up with, they had a bad relationship with, where it's like, the wind's blowing, sun rising, but your love has done nothing but cause me harm, and you've lied to me, and you're not who I thought you were, so damn your lies. And if you don't love me now, you'll never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain. So the chain's like a metaphor, you know, it's like they're together or married, so they're chained together, like they're bound to be together or something like that. And it's like, you don't love me now and you're never going to love me ever again. Like, it's over for us. We're done. And I can still hear you saying that you won't break the chain, and look what happened. You broke the chain. And if you don't love me now, and yeah, it's the same verse again. And then we get into listen to the wind blow, down comes the night, running in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies, break the silence, down the dark, and damn the light. So I wonder if they're all kind of going into how, like, they're all in a really dark place. Like, they don't want any light, you know, they're in a dark place, they're going through a hard time. You know, a breakup does a lot to you. You know, like, trust me, I know. It's like breakups are a really hard thing to get to because you feel like you wasted a good portion of your life, you know, and then you wonder, it's like, where do you go from this point? And you know, I thought you loved me, but it was all a lie. And, you know, break the silence between us. Tell me the truth. Who are you? How do you really feel? And look what happened. And then the ending verse here goes into, you know, chain, keep us together, running in the shadow. So, like, I think that shadow thing is a metaphor how, like, you both were in the shadow, thought you knew each other, thought you knew each other better than anyone else, and it turns out it was all a lie, and that chain could not keep you together. It eventually broke, and you can't connect it. What's done is done. You got to move on, and hopefully you'll find love again. And that wraps it up for the lyric analysis of this album. Those are just the 4 songs that I really like off this album. Like, this album features so many other amazing songs that are just waiting to be discovered. This whole album is a true masterpiece, and it captures the late 70s sound very well. I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to finally give this album a proper analysis and review, and I hope you enjoyed this recording. And I'm not sure what album I'm going to review next. I did make like a backup list of stuff to possibly review down the road. So I got other ideas, so I'll think of something. But I'm very happy that I was finally given an opportunity to review the Rumors album, and I really hope that you enjoyed this covering of the album. And feel free to do your own research. There's so many stories about this album that you can look into. I want to take a minute and dedicate this recording to the late great Christine Annie McVie. She was an English musician, singer, and songwriter. She was best known as keyboardist and one of the vocalists of Fleetwood Mac. McVie was a member of several bands, notably Chicken Shack in the mid-1960s British blues scene. She passed away on November 30th, 2022. She was born in 1943 in the United Kingdom. I just want to say that I hope that whoever she is, that she's at peace, and that from what I've seen, she lived a fantastic life. And I just want to say thank you to her for all the amazing music that she's left behind for millions of generations to come. And her music will continue to influence all kinds of new artists. And I just want to say I hope she's at peace, and I just want to thank her for the amazing music and helping enhance some amazing memories that I hold very dear. So rest in peace to you, Christy McVie. I hope I did a good job promoting the Rumors album, and I hope I did a good job of giving it a proper shout out. So until next time, this is DJ Apollo, and you are listening to the Tales of Music and Film.